definitely not money. That's for sure. Success is when you wake up in the morning and I mean, no, success. Success is when you're happy. For me, you reach a stage. You reach a stage where you feel good. You feel good. You feel happy. You feel energized. That's when I am successful.
Yeah.
Professor, I'm most proud of my researchers, my students, and if they have ideas and I can help them to push that into the world and be successful with these ideas, then I'm happy. That's my success.
I think the biggest success so far is we have been survived for many years and we're still doing something we like. I think that's a success so far. But looking on the horizon is I hope that we can help more people to really get their technology to resolve problems. But there's no KPI measurement.
Yeah, right. No KPI for that. That's
no
right.
KPI for that. It's, yeah.
The answer is to do something that is fulfilling to you and to the people around you, that you're making a difference, and that difference moves society in the right direction. And ultimately, I think it's not a matter of prestige or money, but just this satisfaction that your job has accomplished a greater goal and has helped move our society in the right direction. And it's hard to feel the effects or the impact of that in the short term. But I think as the years go by, as the decades go by, being able to look back and think, this was truly something that has the potential and did exercise that potential to change people's lives. And so I think that's what I consider to be success.
To me, successful is, like I said, is solving the problems that bug me. So I think that's my focus. Everything else is feels good, but I think solving the problem is the best, really. That gives me the best pleasure.
We had a dream that when we started and there was nothing out there, and we created and we kind of fulfilled this dream on bringing the tiniest device ever. And that was technology-wise, that was the first thing that we were able to achieve. And I think not necessarily less important is the fact that you make it commercially successful. And we've been lucky to be the first one to bring vision-based tinyML into that kind of a success. On the business side, on the volume side. So I think that's really what makes us really happy and with what we were doing.
So basically pursue your dream and kind of take it all the way to be a commercial success.
Yeah, technology and commercial, yes.
I find that success for me basically means, can we move the industry forward? That's one way of kind of looking at it. Like I often think, is this something that helps all of us build a better ecosystem at large? That's one thing. This is a bunch of answers, right? So that's one from an impact sort of a standpoint, because that is very satisfying to know that, okay, you're doing something that is helping multiple industries come together. And that's something that is quite unique being an academic. It's very hard to do if you're part of another company to try and bring consensus around, because everybody thinks you have something in your head that you have a secret agenda. But as an academic, it gives you that neutrality. But at that same point, there is a responsibility, I also feel. With that freedom that I have, it also is a responsibility to use that freedom to create something or bring the community together, which is specifically the industry. So that's one way I kind of look at quote unquote success. Am I able to use my neutrality to kind of bring various companies to kind of collaboratively work together to, move the needle forward? The second thing I would say is often around education, right? Being an academic, nothing is more satisfying for me than seeing or creating pathways for the next generation. And I think that is honestly, I know that is honestly why I'm an academic, right? And for me, it's when I see students, whether it's high school student getting an opportunity to do some research and then they move into undergrad, or from an undergrad they move into something, be it a company or research they're doing, but they find their sort of a resonance, and that when you make that connection or you see that success, that is priceless. Because at the end of the day, as crazy as it seems, like if we can enable this at scale and so forth, which, we're all doing with tinyML education efforts and all these kinds of things, that is very satisfying, right? Because then we're in a really, education is kind of borderless, right? We have all these borders and countries and all this stuff. And I'm often like, but that's just all fake stuff. I mean, there's only one real border, people, and it's called this round blob that we're all stuck on, right? and so I think education is one of those things that like permeates through borders. And I think that's like when we see that, like we're able to share what we know outside of our institution and affect other people and give them the opportunity and the confidence that they can achieve something. Oh, that is priceless. That is another form of success, because it's the next generation that's going to make the world better. So
working on the meaningful thing in the way you like to work on it, I think is the key thing. Working on something you care about and being able to use your time in a way that you care about, right? Impact and time. Really, that's the most thing. The thing you get out of success more than anything else is the ability to go do those two things.
So basically do meaningful things and do what you like and love what you do.
And do it in a flexible way, right? Do it when you really want to be doing it. Spend time with your family and the time that you want to be spending time with your family. Keep yourself healthy. Go surfing, right? In the time that you need to be staying healthy. So there's I think a really important thing about having impact, but then having your time to use as you want. And that's the magical combination. It's not about money or power. That I don't think that really brings joy or success in a way. Success really is about being able to have an impact as an engineer or an entrepreneur or in whatever you do, and having your time to use to be impactful and have a good life, right? So that's the ultimate goal.
Well, for me, I'm very glad that Arduino has been successful in a way to make the technology available to a lot of people. To me, it was never important that we became. There was never the intention to become rich in a way, but there's a lot of richness coming from the fact that you every day you meet someone who tells you that they used Arduino and they used it to learn, and that allows them to get a job they never thought they could get, or they solve a problem. I met once a person that was a disabled person that used Arduino to build something to help with one of his disabilities. So I think these things are incredibly satisfying, and the positive impact on the world, in my opinion, is the real success. No, making a lot of money without any positive impact on the world, but only a positive impact on your bank account. I don't think it's the objective that human beings should, It's good to have money, you should make money from a company. I'm totally, in favor of that. But, there's a certain moment where after a certain amount of money, it doesn't matter anymore.
The success is when we have customers telling us that, we've helped them accomplish what we set out to do, which was, to take what has been a very challenging combination of embedded design and machine learning and made it easier, so that we start to see some real innovation take place in the embedded world, right? Where things that used to be really hard, the first step counters that came out, they were done by hand by teams that had great intuition. So for us to really see a proliferation of sensing and machine learning, it needs to be something that can scale. So when we start, as we start seeing more and more customers sharing positive experiences of being successful, that for me is the ultimate win.
Always a good question. I ask myself that from time to time, but it's really kind of old-fashioned. I think that it has ultimately come down to two things. One, in some very idealistic way, I want to change the world. That is, introduce new technologies, help in the proliferation of valuable and benign ideas that leave some lasting impact. And second, to help people, just to help people develop their careers, help people understand how to avoid some of the brick walls or turn some of the brick walls into speed bumps as they look to innovate, as they pursue their goals of changing the world. So kind of being a mentor and advisor, if you will, to make some of these things happen.